I want to talk about horrific political persecution. Now, recently there's been the massive debate about the LGBTQ plus community, specifically drag shows, and whether there can ever be a drag show that is appropriate for children, right? Whether it is an inherently sexual act to participate in drag. I've had this debate before. I've brought up ideas like kabuki theater or types of drag performances that can be appropriate for children. I would say, for example, Miss Doubtfire is an example of drag that I think the vast majority of children could be exposed to. When you look at Drag Queen Story Hour and the type of books that are being read in those environments, I think that's fine. Either way, I don't believe it's the government's job to regulate and say, you are not allowed to bring your child to this family-friendly event. And even if the events aren't family-friendly, which I'm going to be more sympathetic to the idea, you should not bring your child, or it's going to be illegal to bring your child to this event that could have inappropriate themes. Even if I am more open to that idea, are we going to make it so that parents can't take their kids to rated R movies? Because currently, it is the parent's decision on whether that child can go in there and watch a rated R movie. What about parents' decision on whether or not their child is mature enough to listen to mature music with violent lyrics, music with sexual lyrics, music with toxic like slurs, or any number of things that could be in there, right? I don't know a lot of music with slurs these days, but you get the idea. Are we taking that decision-making ability from the parent and we're giving it to the state? And I would imagine if you're a small government conservative, that should be something that concerns you. But it's not something that seems to be getting in the way of anybody's judgment as a conservative, as a small government conservative, of Ron DeSantis' performance in Florida, right? So there's these two questions to be had. Number one, is drag inherently sexual? I would make the argument no. And then number two, even if it is it the state's place to tell a parent that they cannot make the decision on when their child is and is not ready to consume an art form? Because I think there are 16-year-olds that are probably mature enough to play GTA. I also think that there are probably kids that age that are not mature enough, depending on how they behave and how media affects them, stuff like that. And that's why we leave discretion like that up to the individual parent. And so those are the two questions that need to be asked. Now, putting all that aside, we're talking about furries here. We're not talking about drag shows. But because of how legislation was written when it comes to regulating these performances in front of children, furries have gotten wrapped up in it, and now their performances and their conferences aren't allowed to have children present either. And now a lot of people are trying to make the argument, like this Fox News host, that the furry fandom and its aspects are inherently sexual. And this interview is an example of him trying to make that point. And I find it very dishonest when he's talking to somebody also that is extremely earnest in this interview. Let's go check it out. Now you guys know the background, though. Let's watch.
We now turn it over to a real-life furry, David Kanoska, to respond. All right, David, how old are you?
This person's, look, okay? Oh, God, I hate the Fox News overlay when you pause it, it does this. This person's going to be fighting an uphill battle, okay? This person's going to be fighting an uphill battle. You not only did you go on Fox as a furry, but you went on Fox in a furry dressed up in your furry costume. Uphill battle.
I'm 32.
And what are you supposed to be dressed up as here?
Well, currently, I'm a raccoon.
And why are you dressed up as a raccoon?
Well, isn't it fun?
For you? You tell me.
Oh, for me, absolutely. I'm hoping it's fun for everyone around me. The joy of bringing smiles to everyone's face is really the only reason that I like to do this. Getting smiles and bringing people happiness in all sorts of ways.
Okay, I don't know if you should have said in all sorts of ways, but He just sounds like a My Little Pony character or something. He just sounds he's just like somebody who's just too nice almost. You know, I'm not saying it as an insult. I don't mean it as an insult. But like this guy's like almost like cartoonishly like, you know, I just like to make sure everybody's having a nice time, and you know, I like dressing up for me and help people around me have fun. Just like an unbelievably nice person.
The furries,
Even
I
if
know
they're furry.
specifically, are great at art and dance and theatrical performance, and it all brings with it.
Well, I mean, you're also great at spankings. Did you see the video we just played? What's going on with the spankings at the furry convention?
Okay, so let me just be clear. There was a video. It was like a few second video, and we're not gonna go watch it because we're on Twitch, of somebody in like a fursuit getting spanked. That's all the context you need. I mean, you could find this in any community. You could find that type of activity in probably any community or some subset of any community online. If you go to any Ren fair, you know, those like medieval times, like Renaissance fairs, I'm pretty sure you could find that type of activity on some type of social media clip. Some communities are more sexual than others, but all communities have those elements.
Well, there's a popular restaurant called the Habra House, and this is a restaurant that is pretty close to one of the conventions that we set up every year. And at the Habra House, it's customary in Germanic tradition to I guess slap the asses of all of the patrons. I don't know why.
I didn't know the Germans were into that kind of kink, but there's a lot I don't know. So why do you want kids around people dressed up as squirrels getting spanked?
That's so dishonest, dog. That's so dishonest. He just like, dude, you know what he just did? He just low-key said, so why are you a pedophile? That's what he low-key said there, right? That was so unbelievably dishonest, right? Like, if you listen to the guy earlier, it's like, hey, the reason I'm a furry is because I like to have fun. I think it's fun for people around me. I like dance. I like theatrical performance. We like costumes. These are the things that matter to me and my community. And he's like, okay, well, I saw this clip of somebody getting spanked. Why do you want to have children watching squirrels getting spanked, right? It's unbelievably dishonest. He's just trying to set up this guy who, I'm gonna be honest, a little socially awkward, right? Socially awkward guy, a little socially anxious, to put it lightly, trying to set him up to make him look like a predator. It's very, very dishonest.
Me personally, I don't. I think that it's a definitely an adult-only environment for that. The furry conventions themselves don't have anything to do with that, though. The furry conventions themselves are really about community and bringing people together. You know, a lot of us, we're not so socially, it's a little bit tough.
Okay.
You know, it's easy to make fun of furries.
So why are you upset that
he's so earnest here? This guy is unbelievably earnest in this interview. He's being so like upfront, like, no, man, we're kind of socially awkward. This is a good community building thing for us. We are able to wear costumes, you know, participate in song and dance and theatrical performance. The thing you're talking about was not even at the convention in question. It was a restaurant near the convention. And we 100% care about making a friendly environment for everybody involved. And no matter what, it's just going to come back to like, I don't know, you just sound like a predator. That's 100% what it's going to come back to every time, because this is Fox. And we're also dealing with David Cananza.
kids are not allowed to be at the furry convention?
Wait, not David Cananza, Jesse Waters. This is Jesse Waters, right? This is Jesse Waters. I'm sorry, I got mixed up because of the headline. This is Jesse Waters.
Convention.
Well, me personally, I think that it is a great way to include everyone, no matter what their age. It's nothing. There's nothing inherently sexual about these conventions. You have panels that teach you how to create costumes or dance or we have variety shows and all kinds of stuff, but it's not sexual. It has nothing to do with that.
Okay, you say it's not sexual. That's fine. We have video that proves otherwise. But if like the government,
dude, it's so unbelievably designed. You don't have video that proves that the conference is inherently sexual. You don't have video that proves that. The video in question, as the person said to you, is of something that was happening at a separate building in a restaurant near a convention that had nothing to do with what the convention itself was about. And even if that one convention did have those types of themes, that doesn't necessarily mean all the conventions have those types of themes. I mean, this would be like if I had a music convention that everybody could come to, right? And it's not even a music convention that has all types of like music, like really raunchy music, but outside of this convention, at a separate building near the convention, they showed some more raunchy music, not even in the convention itself. And then you say the music convention scene is inherently sexual. No, that's not the case. And you know that's not the case. And you're being dishonest. And now somebody's saying, oh yeah, I think the music and children should be able to come to music conventions. Now you're going to try to paint that person like a pedophile. And that's what's low-key happening right here.
the governor said you can't have kids at the convention, why wouldn't you just say, okay, it's too bad, move on? Why are you and your crew so insistent on having the kids there?
So I don't think that there's a huge backlash, but I mean, I could be wrong. There's, from my understanding, it is, from my understanding, the convention just wants to avoid any legal gray areas that might be present in the law. It's you know, we're misunderstood as a group, and it's very easy to vilify us.
Okay. Do you blame yourself at all for being misunderstood? I mean,
you're low-key calling him a pedophile on national television, and you're like, I mean, it's obviously your guys' fault for being misunderstood. Look, they're a bunch of grown adults in like animal costumes, right? Pretending to be animals. Yeah, they're weird. Okay, they're to a certain extent they're weird, and there's nothing you can do about it. But there's a huge difference between weird and maliciously endangering children or try to include them in inappropriate activities. And you're floating towards that later area and how he's trying to classify this group of people and classify this specific person.
You're the one dressed up as a raccoon.
Oh, absolutely. I think that this is absolutely crazy and weird and fun. And that's the point. I think, you know, it's supposed to gain attention. I like being on stage. I like performing as a character. I like bringing joy to people.
Okay.
That's why I do it.
If I came to one of your conventions, David, or maybe we sent Johnny to the convention, what should we dress up as?
You can dress up however you want. We've had Jack Sparrows show up. We've had all kinds of different animals. What kind of animal do you think you would be?
Probably a dinosaur. David?
A dinosaur. I like that.
I got to run. Good luck. And don't sweat too much.
Thank you for having me on.
Why be so nice at the end if you're still trying to low-key paint him this way? Whatever. I really don't like Jesse Waters. Jesse Waters is a very dishonest person. I don't like him. I don't like this interview at all. Very bad interview. Very bad decorum between the interviewee and the interviewer. I don't like it. I don't like it. The guy, but the person being interviewed was just too nice. There's no way you walk away from this interview thinking, what a freak furry. Like, yeah, I guess he's kind of weird, but he was extremely, extremely open, earnest, and I mean, there's not a lot of people who are very going to be open about the fact that, look, I'm socially awkward, man. I don't know how to communicate with people. It's very difficult for people like us, and this is an easy way for us to communicate with other community. That type of earnesty is very rare on the internet. That type of vulnerability and being open about that is very rare on the internet, because it's very easy to get pounced on. And then Jesse Waters kind of tried to low-key paint him like he, wanted to put children in inappropriate situations. So that's exactly why people don't like to make themselves vulnerable on the internet that often.
A curd is a curd.